Happy birthday, Uncle Tom. 80 years. Yep. You know how I know it was 80 years? Because in this book it says that you were born on the 16th of November in 1942. And right after you were born, your dad went with his brother, Uncle Russ, to go work up in the shipyards up in the Vancouver area. And your mom and you were all by yourself in Grace, Idaho. Well, your dad worked long hours and the cold and the weather kind of got to him and different things, so he came back to Grace. He worked on the Robert Clegg's farm, and you lived in the bench for a year. Then your dad went and worked for Jack Gibbs, and then he did a lot of different kinds of jobs. And you know what? You kind of worked many jobs yourself, but you always were able to provide for your wife Camille and your three beautiful kids. You know what? If had it not been for Lizzie Fry and Friday, you would have never met. You ask, who is Lizzie Fry? Who is Friday? Well, your mom and dad met at a dance on a Saturday night in Lava Hot Springs. And your dad and mom, how they met is because your dad asked the girl, and when your mom asked, what's your name? He said, well, my name is Friday. And so your mom retaliated and said, well, my name is Lizzie Fry. That's a good one. That's a good story. In fact, we're glad that you're around for 80 years, because back in 1961, you got tangled up underneath a truck in Niter, and you didn't have the use of your arm and your hand. So I want to make sure you still can use your right arm and hand. So Tommy Fowler, put your right arm to the square and repeat after me. I, Tommy Fowler, now have the use of my right arm and my hand. If you can do that, then the blessing is that you were able to be blessed because your mom and dad prayed for you, and that was a miracle. Hey, Uncle Tommy, you may not remember, but I'm sitting on this couch because I broke your couch in. Apparently, when I was young, I was at your guys' house, and I just peed. I did a waterfall, woo, onto your new couch. Yep, you never knew that, but I broke your couch in. You know what? We went to Temple Square one time, and you were driving such a big car. I mean, a big car. A big butt car, man. It was big. And we could sit backwards in your car. You know what I did in the back? I would wave to all these people, and you couldn't find a place to park at Temple Square. I mean, what were you thinking going to Temple Square with my family and your family in that big honking car trying to find a place to park? Oh, man, I don't know what you're thinking. I don't remember if we ever saw the lights, but I do remember waving to all the people and trying to get them to honk at you. I remember one time we went to a baseball game, and you just had Jeff. You are a very patient man, because all the time I can remember Jeff was saying, Dad, I want a hot dog. Dad, I want a hot dog. I don't think he ever got a hot dog, and we listened to that. Jeff asking for a hot dog for 9 innings. Yeah, way to go. Jeff, did you ever get your hot dog? And Michelle, I think you played the piano and you had a tick-tock meter on your piano, and there was always tick-tock, 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 tick-tock. And Christy, if it hadn't been for you, I wouldn't have seen President Monson in the temple. I remember when you were married in the temple, traffic had to come to a halt because President Monson and his encore was going to the elevator, so we got to see him in the temple. That was pretty cool. Every time we were in Salt Lake, my dad would always say, hey, see that restaurant? That's where your Aunt Camille worked. Hey, and there was a place along the freeway that you must have worked at, a still place or something. And Dad would always say, that's where my brother worked, right there. Well, I don't know if he remembers or if you remember, but apparently you worked at a place. Well, many places. You know what? Now you probably can start fixing your own hospital bed, because you used to fix hospital beds all over the place. I don't know if you knew what you were doing or not. But you know what? You're Mr. Fix-It. And Then I think when you were a temple worker there in the Jordan River Temple, I think you loved doing the baptisms because you could hold your ancestors down for a long time because they did not leave you an inheritance, right? So you could hold them down there in the, and then you'd pull them up for air and say, "Yeah, where's my inheritance?" Just kidding, but they left you a most valuable thing, I think, and that's the name Fowler. And I'm also proud to be with you and living up to that Fowler name. Anyway, it was a pleasure. Years ago, I got to take you for an airplane ride, you and your brother John in a Cessna, and we flew around Provo and up into Provo Canyon. And, when I was younger, you took us out to the airport when you were in National Guard. You got to show us into the cockpit of some of those airplanes. So you were one of the reasons I got into flying because you introduced me at a young age to go up into the cockpit and stuff and said, "Hey, this is the plane that you flew around in 1 week in a month when you were in the Air National Guard." So thank you very much. Sorry I can't be there for your birthday, but to you, Camille, Jeff, Michelle, and Christy, you know what? I love you and have a very happy birthday. Love you.